Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a system that quietly shapes, well, pretty much everything, the petrodollar system. Think of it as the hidden engine of global finance, and we're about to hand you the blueprint.
So let's just start with the simple, undeniable fact. At the heart of global finance, you'll find U.S. financial dominance. The dollar is king. But here's the thing. This wasn't an accident. Not at all. It was carefully, brilliantly designed.
Which leads to the big question, right? What powerful engine is actually driving this reality? I mean, how did one currency become so central to, well, everything? The answer is this incredible self-reinforcing cycle that's tied to the world's most critical resource, oil. And that, my friends, brings us to the petrodollar cycle. This is it. This is the blueprint for that global financial engine we've been talking about. So let's trace the money and see how it works, step by step.
All right, first things first. The whole process starts with the oil exporting countries. Think places like Saudi Arabia. They possess a resource that pretty much the entire world needs. That gives them some serious financial power. You could say they're the fuel source for this entire system.
Okay, now for the next piece of the puzzle. And this is the absolute linchpin. A crucial agreement gets made. These nations agree to conduct all their oil sales exclusively in US dollars. Just like that, if any country on the planet wants to buy oil, they need to get their hands on US dollars first.
And what does that do? Well, it creates two major things: a massive, constant global demand for dollars and a huge surplus of those dollars for the oil-producing nations. So what do they do with all that cash? That's where a process called petrodollar recycling comes in. So how exactly does that recycling work? Well, a big chunk of these petrodollars gets invested right back into the global economy. We're talking stocks, infrastructure projects, all sorts of assets. It's like a huge injection of capital that fuels economic activity everywhere. But here's where it gets really interesting, especially for the U.S. A significant portion of those investments flows directly back into the U.S. economy. It's like a financial boomerang. This provides a constant stream of cash, what economists call liquidity, and that helps keep the whole market stable and growing.
And that's not all. There's another, even more critical path for these petrodollars. A massive portion of them are used to buy U.S. Treasury bonds and to invest in other American financial markets. When you buy a Treasury bond, you're essentially lending money directly to the U.S. government.
And that, right there, completes the powerful cycle. This massive, constant demand for U.S. debt helps finance the government, and because there are always buyers, it helps keep American interest rates low. It's a system that perfectly, beautifully feeds itself.
Okay, so we've traced the money, we've seen how the cycle works. Now let's meet the key players. Who are the architects of this whole system? Who keeps this engine running?
First up, you have the United States. It's the one issuing the dollars, providing the massive, safe investment market for all that cash to flow into. And, well, it pretty much controls the whole cycle.
Next, you have the oil-rich countries, especially the members of OPEC. Their part in this is absolutely essential. By accepting dollars for their oil and then investing that revenue, they're the ones who enable the entire system to keep going.
And the third key player? That would be the central banks and all the big financial institutions around the world. Think of them as the mechanics. They manage and circulate all these funds, and in doing so, they just keep strengthening the dollar's role in global transactions.
So, we've looked at the cycle, we've met the players, but why does any of this matter? What's the real impact of this whole system?
The result, it's pretty straightforward, a global dependence on the US dollar. And this goes way beyond just economics. It gives the US incredible leverage on the world stage. When every country needs your currency to buy the energy that powers their economy, well, that's a powerful position to be in.
Which leaves us with a pretty big question. As the global economy evolves, with new technologies, rising economic powers, will this financial engine just keep on running? Or are we watching the early stages of a massive shift in how the world works? That's really the question for the future.